Ahoy! Welcome into the Junk Drawer, part of the Korked Podcast Network. If you think Joey Chestnut slamming 76 hot dogs in 10 minutes was impressive, just wait until you see us try and slam 10 takes into 76 minutes.
Oh boy, could I eat 7? I could eat 7 to 6 hot dogs in a week.
Right? Yeah.
76, like 7 to 6.
I don't think I could eat. I don't think I'm going to eat a hot dog until at least Christmas time.
You know, my favorite holiday food. You remember that song, Hot Dogs Roasting or an Open Fire?
Yeah. Yeah. Well,
Hot dogs resting by the hot dogs.
No, that's why it's actually chestnuts, because they're referring to Joey.
It's true.
Because
the name of the guy for the joke.
He'll still be hot come Christmas.
You know,
his body will still be decomposing those hot dogs.
3 Kobayashis resting in stockings.
Today is July 6th, 2021. What is up, junkies? I'm Austin. That's Kyle Ayers.
Hello.
There. That's Kyle Ayers. So Kyle's a comedian in Los Angeles. He hosts the Never Seen It podcast, where comedians rewrite movies that they've never seen before. And before we get into the junk drawer, Kyle, you recently did an episode of Never Seen It.
Yes.
For the movie FernGully.
FernGully, the movie that is from 1992. So if I would say the movie that employs the fewest people, it might be FernGully. If I'm just thinking, like, who's on payroll now? Probably not. So we did FernGully. Anna Gilchrist, a very funny comedian and also from Missouri, had never seen FernGully. She rewrote it. We posted clips from podcasts and all this stuff on Instagram. And lo and behold, giving us the little, you know, that emoji where people are like when freezing cold takes.
So yeah. You're writing. Yeah, writing
like, oh, taking notes. At FernGully commented, taking notes, little handwriting emoji at FernGully, which I was like, okay, this is just probably a fan account or an idiot. And it still might both be true.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not eliminating those. Also, let's look at this quote. A rare treasure, ... This might not be actually... those ellipses, a lot's hidden in the ellipses. You know what I mean?
There's a lot hidden in that ellipses. There's more weight being carried in that ellipses than there was the back of Robin Williams.
Right.
You know, carry this movie.
Oh, you know what those ellipses stand for? It's actually a rare treasure would be if I thought this was a.
So FernGully, real quick, FernGully is a cartoon movie that came out in 1992. And it's Robin Williams voices the Bat, which he was like the comedic. He was like the guy who, like, everyone was going to come out to the theater because it's Robin Williams.
Yeah, he was, you know, especially if it's sort of like a kids type of family movie.
Yes.
This was like pre a lot of like Aladdin and things like that, I think.
Right. Yes, it was. And so this movie comes out and it's oh, okay, we've got this fairy and these people are trying to tear down the rainforest, and this fairy and the Bat played by Robin Williams are all trying to save it. And that's essentially the plot of the movie.
Yes, and so it's basically the plot to Avatar, and but with cartoons.
Yes.
So Avatar, and at FernGully comments, and I'm like, okay, well, this can't be the movie, you know, because he's like Tenet probably has an Instagram,
sure,
and I can't even think of any other things that would the
Big Mama's House.
Big Mama's House, all the big three probably all have it.
Yes.
Like Once Upon a Time in Hollywood probably has an Instagram account because it's fairly new and they can use it to like interact with memes and stuff. But at FernGully is a verified Twitter account for the movie, the 1992 cartoon movie. It has like 1,000 followers. Who is running this? 20th Century Fox, who was going under and had to be bought out by Disney, which would be Robin Williams' nightmare because he notoriously hates Disney. I don't know if you know about that whole. He had a deal with Robin Williams had a deal when Aladdin came out that they would not try and make money off of the genie from Aladdin. They told him, yes, we definitely won't. We want it to be the movie. And then they just lied and just sold Genie toys and stuff.
Seriously.
And you can look it up. He has a huge rift with Disney. Look who won in the long run. And that was not funny. It was mean. And so this actual FernGully. So 20th Century Fox went under. They own The Simpsons and they couldn't survive.
Right.
They own the longest running television show in the history of TV, the most successful thing ever in the history of a medium. They own it and they can't find a way to make money. And so they have to get bought out by Disney. But they're going under and they're still employing a social media manager for the 1992 cartoon FernGully. They're still allocating $30,000 a year for FernGully, or the CEO of 20th Century Fox runs it. I don't know, but whose job is this? Who is they're first off, they're lucky it was available.
It's so funny to me that it's like, yeah, like, do you realize how hard it is to get verified on Instagram?
Yeah.
And meanwhile, a cartoon movie from 1992, which only really had one sequel, I think.
Did it?
Is FernGully 2, I'm pretty sure came out. Robin Williams was not in it though.
Rescue. Oh, wow.
So not only does this movie come out in 1992, but now what? 18 years after this movie comes out, a social media platform is developed called Instagram.
Yeah.
11 years after that, it joins on to this social media platform and has its own Instagram. And then it comments on your podcast Instagram account because you did an entire episode around this movie. Imagine having a career and being like, oh, hey, what do you do for a living? Oh, I work in social media. Oh, that's cool. Like, for who? And you just happen to be like, oh, it's for a cartoon from 1992. I don't know if you ever heard of it. FernGully. Does that? And
then also they'll be like, well, how long have you been doing it? You'll be like, well, like they must have had this for a long time.
Yeah.
Well, we made the account February 5th, 2019. So we have 63 posts. We've been around for 2 years.
What are the posts? What are they posting?
The first post is a grainy screenshot of from the movie. It's not
even get high-res images.
Not even get high-res images. And then one of them is just "Happy Birthday, Elton." And then the next one, "Happy Birthday, Us." And then there's a lot of like, I'm not joking. They're giving away original artwork from the movie.
Kyle, FernGully used to be
Happy Earth Day made 9 posts on the grid.
Kyle, and you'll appreciate this because as a comedian, like you have to stay relevant with like today's modern pop culture. FernGully used to be my go-to like random movie that I would reference.
Right.
And it was like my go-to, like I would always be like, oh yeah, FernGully. And then I quickly realized that reference was getting lost on a lot of people. And I had to spend most of my time explaining what FernGully was.
But is it lost on 1,451 people? I have to tell you, I don't want to.
Hold on. Were you the 1,600?
Oh, I'm not following them. They don't follow back.
What?
I have to tell. Oh, it's gonna be May. It's just
that one doesn't even make sense.
Movie. They post it in April.
That doesn't even make sense.
Now here's the best one. I looked through all of them.
The meme makes sense when it's Justin Timberlake.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense when it's someone who's never said that. Here's the best one. It's this picture of these things, these ghosts or something from the
movie. Oh, yeah. That's the Hexus.
And then it says, when your circle's small, but y'all crazy. And then the caption says, who can relate? Tag your besties. Wishing everyone love that isn't toxic this weekend.
Look, and toxic is it's a buzzword on the internet right now. So they are kind of like, if there was ever a time for FernGully to jump back onto the socials.
And then someone commented yes, and they commented so much yes. So not it's like there's just a lot to take. The account is still active. Not only active, thrived during a pandemic when 20th Century Fox seemed to have superfluous money. How successful was WandaVision? That some of that money trickled down to 20th Century Fox social media and FernGully. I'm messaging. And FernGully could keep doing this.
There were essential workers who lost their careers during the pandemic. Here, some social media coordinator for FernGully is still gainfully employed.
People, yeah. I don't know how this person didn't get COVID. Because this isn't a rules follower. So I'm looking at who they follow. They follow some like the Woods and some companies, and then a lot of people, and then UTA Artist Space is a United Talent Agency's commitment to the arts. They're trying to get repped out here, and it's just fascinating to me. Some cosplayers.
Oh my gosh!
I don't know what to think of any of this.
I honestly don't. I don't know. I didn't think we'd be able to get that much out of FernGully on this week's episode.
Oh man. Well, wait till you ask me to pick my 3 things. We kind of still spoiler alert just happened. What are they doing? Who is it? Who is it?
It's like, oh my gosh, just the idea of it's like, oh hey, listen, if you work hard enough running this FernGully account, and if you can meet our engagement goals every single month, and you continue to grow this account, there may just be a shot for you running the Snapchat for Monkey Bone.
Right. Yeah. Well, you're one higher up death away from running Blast from the Past TikTok, where you can.
Hey, listen. So
pepper with the popular sounds of the day.
I don't know if you heard the news or not, but Garrett was just let go, which means there's now an opening to run the Facebook page for Flintstones 2 Viva Rock Vegas.
Oh, no. I could never fill my father's shoes running the Goonies MySpace.
Oh my gosh. All right. So guys, if there's ever a reason to check out Never Seen It this week, go do it. Go check out Kyle Ayers' podcast.
I can't stop thinking about like these there's like in the base, you know how in Office Space, there's the guy with the stapler and no one really knows how he works there, what's going on. I feel like this person exists, but there's an even more extreme version where it's just like someone running the Maximum Overdrive Zanga. And
Maximum Overdrive. That Stephen King's finest work in my opinion.
Only movie he directed, and if you watch it, you find out. I love
a guy dies in that movie from a vending machine.
He gets killed by a vending machine vending Pepsi quickly, and he won't move his face from in front of the hole. It's not like a vending machine has a wide spray.
Right. Hang on, I'm gonna see.
If you're out there and you want to watch something insane, watch Maximum Overdrive. Last time I checked, it's on YouTube for free, and not even legally, but there's no one who can check. And the trailer for Maximum Overdrive is Stephen King walking on a treadmill, so walking in place, describing how crazy the movie is going to be. And in interviews recently, he's talked about how he was on so much cocaine he doesn't remember directing a movie.
Okay, I don't know how much we'll get away with this. Probably not much. So I'll fast forward a little bit. But so here's the vending machine. Maximum Overdrive. This movie came out. I don't know when this movie came out.
This is like the early 90s.
Was it early 90s? I think it might have been before that. I think it might have been 80s.
It's 86 over there, yeah.
So this guy's like, he goes to get a soda after the game. The kids won the big game, and boom, gets rocked right in the nuts.
So hard.
Oh, right there in the gut. This is literally the batting practice scene from Happy Gilmore. He doesn't think to get out of the way.
How far it's hitting the kids got hit in the back? How did it curve it around the man? Is this wanted?
And I think that guy dies. I think he takes one more to the face. And just straight up dies.
Movie about where alien ghosts take over machines, and people are like, aliens are ghosts? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
And alien ghosts take over the machines, and Emilio Estevez is trapped in a gas station because they're being circled by the semi trucks, which seem to be the main alien ghosts. And this is a spoiler. I will spoil it, but it doesn't spoil a single moment of the movie. The whole movie, they're trapped in this gas station the whole time. And then at one point, one of the people goes, "Should we tell everyone here about the rocket launchers in the basement?" Oh yeah, we forgot. The basement of the gas station is full of rocket launchers, and they go get the rocket launchers, and that's how the movie turns.
If you think those are like, if you think gas stations back then having rocket launchers, think about like what Quick Trips today have.
Right. You could dispense your own rocket launcher, or you could order the little rocket launcher, and they'd be like, "Well, we do actually do a nacho cheese thing on the
Yeah,
side."
they probably have like, sir, with your with your taquito, would you like a tank? Yeah, sure.
Hey, do you want a rocket launcher? Sounds like a 2-year-old asking for a rocket launcher.
A rocket launcher.
Launcher.
All right, so let's man, gosh, I could literally talk old movies with you all day, Kyle. Got another reason to go check out Never Seen It podcast with Kyle Ayers.
If you're not going to listen to my podcast, watch all of Maximum Overdrive on YouTube. That's
all he's asking. How many times do you get that? You know, most of the time people tell you, oh, hey, make sure you like and subscribe to the podcast. Kyle's like, look, you don't even have to like or subscribe to the podcast. Right. Just go watch Maximum Overdrive.
Just go watch this movie that a guy is so rich he got to make it even though he doesn't make them.
Oh, all right. So good, back, ugly. Kyle, what you got for your good of the week?
What's good? Social media accounts for 1992 animated movies. Do you know what is good? This is the thing that I just watched today because everything I had was related to the FernGully Instagram. So I'll try and give you like 2.
Okay.
This person running this account and still being active is good. That's insane.
That is
but
great.
Also good. Brandon Lloyd highlights. Former Blue Springs High School in Illinois and then NFL player Brandon Lloyd had some highlights circumventing the web recently because, well, he was an NFL player. He had a few really good seasons. One great season with the Broncos. He went to my high school as well.
Not to brag.
He has what is probably the greatest catch of all time. And I can pull it up real quick and show you if you'd like. But it's what I think is legitimately, people will be like, that's a good catch. That's a good catch. Blah, 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 blah. This catch, I, not a joke, think might be the single greatest NFL catch of all time. And I don't know. You'll have to let me know if my audio plays. Do you hear my audio?
Yeah.
Okay. I'm going to share the screen real quick.
Okay.
Watch this audio or watch this video. So
there we go.
Okay.
Yeah.
This next catch is what I think is the greatest catch in the history of the NFL.
Lloyd! Flag. Fabulous. And it gets wiped out on a holding penalty. And the hurry up with 1:15 on the clock.
Garcia.
He is clobbered and trying to make the catch, and he does. Brandon Lloyd made a super one-handed.
Wait for the next angle.
Gimpy and stepped both feet in bounds.
Oh my gosh. 2 feet in.
Great. This is phenomenal. You have
and on 4th and 1, meaning he got the first down.
That is a 4th and 1.
Oh my god.
That might have been a what's his name? O'Sullivan throwing him the ball or whatever.
JT O'Sullivan.
The 49ers were on a real pre-Chiefs quarterback run right then.
They were.
But I was watching those all day. There are a lot of these like 5-hit wonders in the NFL. If you got to show someone 30 seconds, they would think he's the greatest player in the history of the league.
Yeah, right. Yeah, you just show me that play and I'm like, man, how many other plays did he make?
Yeah. But he wasn't great at was the rest of it, route running and stuff.
Man, I love that. Brandon, FernGully and Brandon Lloyd, 2 things I did not expect to talk about on the podcast today, but here we are. My good of the week is a guy, Kyle. I know you're a Royals fan, and this may not be the best for you, but hang on. All right, so
please don't pull up a clip of Alcides Escobar car. Oh, okay. Oh, this is incredible, actually.
So Nick Castellanos, when he goes to Kansas City, I don't know how he does it, but he does it. He he always picks the most awkward times possible to hit home runs. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, so last night during the Royals broadcast on like Bally Sports Kansas City, they're giving a eulogy of this guy George A. Gorman,
Mm-hmm.
and they're talking about, you know, he just passed away on July 3rd. Former veteran, rest in peace to him. Thoughts go out to his family. And then I'll just allow it to play.
And so did his son, Pat Gorman, who's been working for the Royals in the clubhouse for 26 years. Wow. And that was Pat's father. Well, that's a great life. 96 years. And Pat, just like his dad, went to KU. He also went to Bishop Ward High School. There's a drive into left center field, and there's never a great time to eulogize someone during the broadcast. So we apologize. Well, we're going to tell you about it.
Just the ultimate, like Nick Castellanos. All this dude does is hit home runs during awkward moments. And obviously, like we all know the Tom Brenneman apology. It has become a meme on the internet, which is one of my favorite memes of all time.
There's also was that Tom Brenneman who did the he said, I don't even remember what someone said, that ball's out of here, and he goes, you know who else is out of here? Steve Burns, who passed away. Like, I think he did here. I actually saw it earlier. Let me pull this up. I think we can, this will be my bad.
Okay.
All right.
So literally Tom Brenneman's apologizing for making a homophobic slur on a hot mic during the game, and he's apologizing. And it's literally almost the exact same spot at Kauffman Stadium. It like, so if look, Nick Castellanos is nothing if not consistent.
Yeah. You see him. I always thought it's weird that his walk-up music was actually just the audio from the booth. So I guess he can see when to hit these home runs, because he's always just pump that booth audio while I'm walking up there. We'll see if it's a trepidatious time.
I just realized so
pride myself and think of myself as
like it's almost like it's shot for shot. It's shot for shot, the exact same
Sonic ad. Talk about a judgment-free zone. That's so funny. He's apologizing for saying a slur, and a guy hits a home run into a sign that says judgment-free zone. Oh, someone said that down there. That's really funny.
Oh my gosh. So yeah.
So if we want to keep going with this same guy, Tom Brenneman, I think he can be the good and the bad, because he's kind of all over the place.
Sure.
So let me bop this bing op onto here real quick, and let me know you can hear this okay.
Continue this season due to his battle with cancer. Steve Burns was survived by his wife of 22 years, Karen, and their 12-year-old son, Bryson. We at Fox Sports Ohio send our prayers and deepest sympathies to the Burns family and the entire NASCAR community. He was just 56 years
This one's a slow
age.
burn.
Tom and Chris, he was a guy that I admired because he did his homework. He was solid on the air, but he didn't take himself too seriously. He had great rapport with the drivers and the crews, and that really came across. And he's going to be a guy that's going to be sorely missed.
And this ball will be missed off the bat of Joey Votto. Oh, my goodness.
And this ball will be missed.
Announcers need to know that not everything needs to be segued. Not everything needs to be transitioned into something.
I mean, there are some bad ones, but I always really hated, and we'll also never forget, the Diamondbacks beating the Yankees in the World Series.
It's like, imagine being that guy's family and being like, oh, they're eulogizing, dad, or they're eulogizing grandpa. Like, and he will be missed. Boom. And this ball will be missed. Goodbye.
Like, if baseball's like, what if when we're eulogizing these veterans, we showed one less commercial and just did this when no one's throwing a ball at a guy.
Right.
To hit it.
Just do it between innings. That's literally all you have to do.
Sorry, we don't have time between innings. We have to do the thing where everyone races a guy named Freeze. We don't have time between innings.
We don't-
All the old presidents have to run in circles.
Right. We don't have time between innings. That dog's got to go retrieve that bat.
Right. There's just really, really no time between innings. Here's a video of baseball players being mad. They have to film stuff for social media. We don't have time. Do you think ketchup, mustard, or relish will win this race around the outfield?
We don't have time between innings because this mascot has to get in a dance contest with that guy dressed like an umpire.
There's no time. There's no time because the Royals mascot has to get sued for hitting someone in the face with a hot dog.
Look, guys, if we did all our eulogies then how would we tell which hat the peanut shell is under?
It's absolutely. Oh, please, once you're done watching Maximum Overdrive, go look up the court case involving Slugger of the Royals for blinding a guy with a hot dog from a hot dog.
Hot dog cannon. I remember that.
There's just nothing like court documents that say Slugger with 9 R's. Really makes you have faith in the system.
Does he have to show up to court in full costume?
Oh, imagine if the reveal when he pulls it and underneath that, Nick Castellanos, everybody. And there he is.
Oh my gosh.
There's no time in between innings in a baseball game. Oh, is everyone in the stadium coordinating the wave?
Look, we really don't have time between innings in the baseball game because we have to drag the field.
The dirt isn't flat. Really, because it's a Royals game. There haven't been a lot of hits.
Oh, man.
It's been a while since at Kauffman Stadium they've had to drag the dirt between second and third.
Yeah. All right. My back of the week. I've got a couple, actually. My first one is NBA Finals ratings. So the NBA Finals tip off tonight.
Yes.
If you're listening to this on the podcast, then it was last night. But they tip off tonight. The Suns versus the Bucks, which is probably
not a good celebrity couple name.
No, it is not.
Not a benefer.
No, it's not. The Suns and the Bucks, the Buns.
Now Lakers Knicks. That's a celebrity couple name right there.
The
Go Licks.
That is true. That is true.
We got sucks or buns.
So I'm my question is like or basically what I'm getting at is my back of the week is NBA Finals ratings. People are going to be, all of the ratings talk is going to happen because this finals is probably not going to get great ratings. The Suns is a growing market like Phoenix is, but it's just not. It's not going to do well nationally because there's no LeBron. There's all these reasons. I thought it would be fun, Kyle, for you and I to kind of riff back and forth, coming up with a list of excuses as to why the NBA Finals won't rate well.
I love this.
Okay.
All right.
So, for example, let's start here. It's Milwaukee versus Phoenix. Neither one of those are major markets. It's not going to rate well. Milwaukee versus Phoenix markets.
Giannis hasn't won an MVP all year. So I don't know if anyone's going to have any. There's no superstar power. The guy hasn't won back-to-back MVPs since last year.
Yeah.
I just don't know what people are going to cling on to,
It's so true. Look, this year it's been pushed back a little bit due to COVID and everything and scheduling. Mid-July NBA Finals ratings are going to suck. It's going to nobody watches anything in mid-July. People are on vacation. It's going to get poor ratings just because it's in July.
Right. Actually, the sound from the finals really scares my dog, so I'm going to have to be calming him down if everyone stop watching the finals at home and instead watch a professionally televised version of the finals because the sound really spooks my dog and some veterans.
Sure. Right. Vacuums, fireworks, NBA Finals. They scare all of our dogs, to be honest.
And laundry.
No LeBron James. No LeBron James. I already mentioned it. Like no LeBron. What's the point of even watching? LeBron is the only basketball player that most people can name.
Right. I mean, I don't know why anyone's going to watch everyone hates LeBron, so they're so tired of him being there. So now that he's not there, what are they going to hate?
Yeah.
Really hate these two likable teams.
Yeah.
Players who've never won a championship. Only one of the former MVPs on the Bucks used to be homeless. So what story could the NBA I go to MLB for superstar marketing. I'm not worried about this NBA crap.
Yeah, pretty sure people aren't tuning into NBA finals for insurance agents. Okay, Chris Paul.
I don't know. I'd watch for Mahomes. I can't get on board with that hypothetical. I'm like,
yeah.
Saying about him.
Patrick Price. You're a Patrick Price guy. I'm more of a Rodgers rate guy myself, but to each his own.
I just don't see why people could really get in. I mean, I understand not watching because of the injuries, and plus, if you've watched the games in the playoffs so far, only all of them have been amazing.
Right.
So I don't see why people would want to get involved with what would almost certainly be a bunch of amazing games with two equally balanced teams.
The Final Destination franchise had what, like 8 sequels?
Right. This is a 7 series.
What's a ninth? What's a ninth with the NBA playoffs? Like, if anything, you should be watching just to see who's going to get injured and in what way.
Plus, I mean, Chris Paul's never even been to the finals for. So, what if he doesn't know how to walk?
Right? What
if he doesn't know what shoes to wear? It's going to be embarrassing. I don't want to watch an old man embarrass himself on television. If I did, I'll watch the Cosby comeback.
Stop. Game slippage is a real thing, people. Game slippage is like, what if Chris Paul gets to the finals and he's like,
and it looks like Giannis is going to play maybe game 2 or game 3. Why would I want to see a superhuman recover from what looked like the worst injury of all time? If I wanted to watch people walk who probably shouldn't be walking, I'd watch Don Cheadle in the Avengers movies. And while we're on that note, why didn't Tony Stark give everyone an Iron Man suit?
Speaking that, I don't understand.
I think about this all the time. If
you're like his superpower was his suit, and he had like
Scarlett Johansson, and everyone's talking about their superpowers, and so Tony Stark's like, "Well, I had this suit; it can do everything," and it's like, "Great." And then the Hulk's like, "I'm Hulk," like, "Great." And then Don Cheadle's like, "I also have an Iron Man suit," because he had a lot of Iron Man suits, so he gave me one.
Right.
Everyone's like, "Oh, tight, cool." And then Johansson's like, "I coordinate." What kind of where everyone's at?
Yeah, and
they get really close and they're vulnerable to bullets.
Imagine Hawkeye. Right. Hawkeye's like, hey, Tony, listen, man. Hey, while I got you, real quick, do you think maybe, I don't know, you could? I noticed we were at your house the other night for that Avengers barbecue, and I realized that you have extra suits.
Yeah. I got the 15 or 20 extra suits, but one of those is for my wife in 15 years.
Okay. All right. No, that's cool. And I love that. I dig that about you, man. You're always so good with Pepper Potts. My question is, like, do you think maybe I could get one of those? Because
I don't want to mess up your shooting of arrows.
It's a bow and arrow. It's a bow and arrows. I'm the bow and arrow guy. Remember, I'm the guy who literally carries around this giant bow and a pack full of arrows.
Tony, could I at least have like some sort of Iron Man arrow holder?
Yeah,
that distributes them to me or holds a lot more of them.
Yeah, so I don't have to do this. This is kind of a pain.
It's crazy. And
did you just get me, like, build me something that just gives me the arrow towards my front?
It's 10 minutes of Age of Ultron is him recovering some of his 14 arrows off of robots.
Like, yeah.
He starts like, I'm going to go hold a city above the earth with Thor.
Has Hawkeye ever gone off more than 6 shots in a movie? I'll have to go back and watch, but I can't imagine, because then it's just retrieving his arrows.
Yeah. It's named a quiver because it's what he does when he sees everyone else get free Iron Man suits.
Hawkeye's like, listen, Tony, I don't know if you noticed or not, but I'm like the only guy among the Avengers that hasn't gotten his own movie yet. Even Black Widow is getting one this summer. Mm-hmm. So, like, do you think maybe I just feel like if I had a suit or something that, like, one of your extras, maybe that would help get me get my own movie.
The extras, they're hanging behind glass cases in my all glass home. I guess I could give you one of the Iron Man suits that guards the rest of them at my house because they can operate on their own.
Tony, I really feel like you could give me an Iron Man suit and you wouldn't even know it was gone. In fact, I'll just rent it. I'll rent it.
The thing about these Iron Man suits is they're super bulky, except the ones I have now that form out of my glasses.
Yeah, right.
Where am I going to carry around a second pair of glasses, Clint?
Tony Stark's got like an Apple Watch that he presses a button on it, and then it just like it mutates into
and then how terrible does everyone feel when the Hulk shows up in an Iron Man suit and they're like, "You have one for him?"
Oh my gosh,
that he doesn't need it.
Well, you know what, Tony?
Yeah,
it's more like our friendship end game. That's what this is.
I just didn't think it's a size 12 wide. I didn't think that you, Arrow guy, might want to be in the Hulk busting Iron Man suit.
Yeah. Hawkeye, to be honest with you, like we noticed you, Jeremy Renner, have your own app, and we just assumed that you were good. You didn't need a suit.
Oh, I love Hawkeye. I read a comic book series of Hawkeye, and in it, he is a landlord. That is the Hawkeye comics. I'm not even joking.
His superpower is being able to raise rent without
trying to like not get tenants evicted.
Oh my gosh. I to be honest with you, I a lot of times feel bad for Hawkeye. God love him, man. He is it. I just feel bad for him. He is just I got nothing. I got nothing. My other back of the week, Zuckerberg, Mark Zuckerberg. I don't understand. Well, actually, I better not play that music because we'll probably get flagged for it. But
we'll get flagged. We're getting flagged right now.
We're getting flagged. We'll get flagged by Zuckerberg for playing that music on this video. So Mark Zuckerberg posted this over the weekend. And Kyle, I need your help with this because I honestly can't decide if it's the coolest or lamest thing I've ever seen in my life. It's either one. It's not in the middle.
You know, it is exactly in that Kenny Powers world of it depends entirely on your mood at that given moment. Like, it's kind of everyone was dunking on him and stuff, and he's a super tone deaf guy who doesn't understand that he could like solve world hunger instead of doing this, right? Like,
you mean with some Sweet Baby Ray's?
It's almost all problems with Zuckerberg, but if this was me, I'd be like, this is the tightest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I want to do this. Also, he's good at it.
Yeah, no, he is. He is, and it's been many years of practice because if you remember, this was him. Last year?
Yeah.
So like clearly he is.
Not a lot of people know, but he's actually auditioning for the role of Robert Downey Jr. in Tropic Thunder 2. He's playing him as Robert Downey Jr.
Right. He's going white face.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's going extreme white face. This is he's also speaking of Stephen King, I believe this was Stephen King's original character for Pennywise, but it was deemed way too scary.
You know, it's cool. A Pennywise. You know, it's really cool. A Billion Wise.
Yeah, Pennywise isn't cool.
Why does it look like he's holding like a laser tag gun? I don't really understand.
Probably because he is.
Yeah, you're right. I really make fun of him a lot for doing all the stuff that I really wish I could do. He also got kind of fucking he's like thick. You know what I mean? Like it's ZUCC is what it looks like looking at this picture of him.
If you would have invented Facebook, then you would have applied your sunscreen properly.
So if they would have applied their sunscreen, then they would have applied their sunscreen.
Like, how does Mark Zuckerberg? This when you get to this levels of rich, you don't have many people that are like willing to, like call you out when you're.
You know, he actually put on. It's called a thing called face screen. It used to be called Harvard SPF. It's called face screen.
This should have been the face mesh.
All he wanted to do. It's so if you see that video of him on the whatever people called it a wakeboard. Is that really what it is? I've never seen one of these like self board things. I think Austin might have accidentally left. I think it might be me here alone now doing the show. because Austin might have accidentally left the entire show.
I accidentally left the entire show.
Yeah, I held my own.
Thank you. I appreciate you holding on the fort.
When he's on that wakeboard, which looks like the coolest thing I've ever seen.
Yes.
How all he wanted to do was rate women on their hotness.
Right.
And we're
here. Yes, like he went from that to what he's doing now, which is now just writing really cool,
sort of passively existing without anyone telling him no, while he kind of is complicit in a lot of insurrections and revolutions around the world, but also people make fun for this or whatever, but to me, there's nothing more American than this completely tone-deaf billionaire doing cool stuff with an American flag while his the fallout of his creations is death all around the world.
It's so, yeah, and just coming to this from a personal point, our Instagram account is currently deactivated. Korked Bats, we've submitted multiple appeals. We're waiting to hear back, probably not going to hear back. And this whole time, the owner of both Facebook and Instagram is just out there I think it's called hydrofoiling.
That makes sense. You ever remember Facebook owns Instagram and you get sad? You're you don't get on Facebook that much, so you get on Instagram, you feel better about it. You remember, it's sort of like when I'm on my phone all day, looking at my TV feels like acoustic. Do you know what I mean? I'm
yes.
I'm not using any technology. I'm just using my TV.
Right.
I rank my tech behind phone is the most destructive, computer is work, and TV is reading to me now. That's how my TV is a book. It counts as a book.
No, right. And then you you watch the TV. A radio, you might as well not be doing anything.
You listen to radio when you're riding around. That's essentially listening to Jehovah's Witnesses at your door. That's the kind of thing.
That's just conversation. Yeah, that's as minimal tech involved as possible. I also like this move that he does right there, Zuck, where he's doing this, where he's trying to jump.
How does this thing keep going? I'm so confused about the actual technology behind this thing. It'd be funny if it had to run an update, while he's riding on it.
Look at his arm. Look at his arm. Look at his arm when he does these jumps. Notice he's not jumping. He's not getting off the air.
Well, there's a big thing into the water underneath him.
Right.
And there's something about billionaires. They're all very uncoordinated. They're all not good at the thing they wish they were good at. Zuckerberg wished he was good with women, seemed to be what he wanted to do, and be natural in that. Ballmer wishes he was good at basketball. Yeah. Elon Musk wishes he was an alien. And he's probably the closest. But even Richard Branson wants to be an astronaut. A lot of them want to be in rock star professions.
Yes.
And they're not. And so then they own the rock star professions.
Right. And and it's funny that in a month where Bezos and Branson are both going to space, Zuckerberg's just hydrofoiling on a lake somewhere, holding an American flag.
I'm so jaded from hating Jeff Bezos that I'm Richard Branson, yeah, he could go to space. It's always kind of seemed like what he wanted. He feels like he's wanted it longer, so I with him going to space. I
low-key love Richard Branson. Is that taboo for me to say? I
was talking with my girlfriend about Richard Branson legitimately yesterday, where I'm he kind of has always been I want to invest in forging tech onwards. And I've always liked Richard Branson ever since his Cribs episode where Mariah Carey was just there.
Right. Mariah Carey was just hanging out and he probably did. And we'll never know. And that's the thing. I feel like Richard Branson has invented so many things that we have no idea that he's even invented, that he has no idea that he's even invented. Yeah. And Richard Branson, to me, I wish he was my grandfather. I wish Richard Branson was my grandfather.
I am more forgivable of him and Buffett. And if I'm going billionaire forgiveness, I'm a Branson, Buffett, Gates, then there's all the billionaires you don't know. And those are the ones that I'm most afraid of. Yeah. And then you get down to I'm also forgiving of billionaire entertainers like Jordan and Izzy and the few who have Dre, who have isn't it? If you want to think about how much money $1 billion is and why I don't think anyone should have it, because it's too much and no one deserves it. Dr. Dre, the most successful person in the history of an entire medium, the most successful person who's ever done anything ever. Not even him. An easier example to grasp is Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is barely a billionaire. That's how you know no one should be. This guy is barely the best person ever to do something, and maybe the most famous person in the world.
Yeah,
maybe the most recognizable person in the world, I would say, if people saw his face. Like, it's like him and
if you're the best at something, people don't say the Richard Branson of something. They say the Michael Jordan of whatever it is you're good at.
And just the most famous person ever, and he's barely that. Like, he doesn't crack lists of rich people, and to get that, he had to like use child labor. Like, there's really no way to get it. He was the best ever, and he barely got there. If the amount of money we need to redistribute wealth, Chase Daniels should have made $50 million when he was. I just like, it's absolutely crazy. I think all the time. That's what my ugly is, but we're probably not going to get to it.
All right. Well, let's get to our uglies. Good back ugly. What's your ugly of the week?
My ugly is all of this thing happening with college athletes being able to market themselves, and this is wonderful and so far long overdue, so incredibly overdue that I think we should retroactively be paying athletes for what they did do. And we're talking. I was talking with people who. This is the very, 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 and I'm not even using it to trivialize. This is the very, very light version of everyone in jail for marijuana should be out of jail immediately. No one should be in jail for having weed. No one should be in jail for selling weed because it's legal now.
Right. Well, in certain states, it's still federally illegal. But
then in those states, because they're in state prison, everyone should be out of jail for this nonviolent. And this is like the version. Reggie Bush should be let off the hook. Everyone should be let off the hook. Everything that's ever happened from this, they shouldn't have gotten in trouble to start with because it's crazy. When we were in college, we could have sold our autograph for whatever.
Right.
Can't they when there's actual value to it? I got paid to go do stuff as a comedy guy.
Yeah.
And that was from the school.
Right. And you didn't have to worry about it. And it's like a violinist who may go to college on a scholarship can do lessons and give lessons while she's in college and not have her scholarship revoked. But the athletes somehow can. Which real quick to the Reggie Bush thing. So Reggie Bush, he says that he wants his Heisman back, or he would love to be his Heisman back and be reinstated back into the NCAA to where his records will be restored. So he writes this open letter to the NCAA and to the Heisman Trust. The Heisman Trust releases a statement. They're like, we'll give Reggie his Heisman back if the NCAA reinstates his records back.
Right. I love that. It's like South Korea saying we'll tear down some of the buildings on the DMZ if Kim Jong-il says it's cool.
Yeah. Well, and I love it, the fact that the Heisman Trust literally gave Reggie the Heisman.
Yeah. Yeah.
Without giving him the Heisman.
Yeah. It's all everyone. So if you think about who probably would have benefited the most from this, and Reggie Bush, who I think is the greatest non-quarterback in the history of college football, potentially.
I think he should be up there. He should be in everyone's
really hard to find. There's been people who are more dominant running back, but he was it's crazy. He was the best college football player I'd ever seen and the second best college football player in the most important game of his career. And he maybe could have made the most. Tebow maybe could have made the most. Johnny Football maybe could have made the most. And
Johnny Football, I think, did make the most.
You're probably right. And made the least of it. And if MIT could study this, I wouldn't want them to study any of those people to see the money they lost out on. I'd want them to study Chase Daniel to see the money he lost out on. Especially if you can equate in financial opportunity created, because the success he created moved the school to a new conference.
Yeah. No, you're right.
This one man brought and the attention
to a conference that shares its wealth as opposed to
they're making 14 times the money now.
Right. The SEC divvies up, they have a revenue split amongst all their 14 teams, whereas the Big 12 does not. And thus why Texas, Oklahoma's of the world get way more money.
Own network and other schools are excited to leave.
Right.
And
So,
the opportunity that Chase Daniel specifically, and that team was loaded.
yeah.
That was number one in the country for a little bit. And there's so many great things about it that were all facilitated through his viewfinders and through that one person. I think that especially if you go by percentage of increase for a school where it's like, Tebow or Johnny Football could have made like $40 million ago. Chase Daniel probably made the school $70 or $80 million.
Yeah. Single-handedly, probably, without question. My question though is, and this is my one, if I have to get nitpicky, my one thing about the NIL that I don't get it, and it's so dumb in my opinion. And look, and this is just my own tastes, my own I don't know, it's if you are a sports fan and you are buying merch with a college football player's logo on it, a college football player who very easily can and probably will go pro in something other than sports, as the NCAA commercials always tell us.
Yeah.
If you're buying that merch, like, why? Like,
it's great. Yeah. Hey, whose jersey is that? Do you love hotel and restaurant management?
Yeah, right. Like, I'm just like, so Spencer Rattler, quarterback for Oklahoma, very, very possibly could go pro. Will he be a quarterback in the NFL? I don't know.
Right.
But he's got his own logo, Spencer Rattler, and he's selling merch. He's selling hoodies, shirts, whatever. If you're a fan of Oklahoma and you buy a Spencer Rattler hoodie, why? Like,
I think about this stuff. I think it's so crazy. I am excited for bootleg merch to start showing up.
Right. Yeah. Like this knockoff. Is that a Spencer Rattler hoodie?
Oh,
no. I got it from a guy in a
golf thrower. I have a lot of bootleg Royals merch was created after they won the World Series. And I have a Royals shirt that clearly has Lorenzo Cain on it, but it doesn't say Royals. It just says the fast baseball team. It has what is clearly a cartoon of Lorenzo Cain. And my dad bought it from like a tent in a McDonald's parking lot after
which is where you would buy things like that. Yeah.
Like a fireworks type of tent, I agree with you. But I don't think it's for us to say like the demand's clearly there. If you go to, I did a show in Birmingham, which isn't even Tuscaloosa.
No.
And there's only one color there. It is only crimson. Yeah. It is crazy. Also, it's fun because I said, aren't you the people who spell go, Geaux? That's not a good way to start a set in Alabama. No one likes it. But I just think if I'm Johnny Manziel and I'm currently unemployed, and I'm hanging out with that kid who fled the country because he tried to say he was an affluent teen. And I'm hanging out with that Kyle Rittenhouse kid or whatever Johnny Football is doing these days. If I'm Johnny Manziel, I don't know if he's smart or not smart. I don't know anything about him. Sometimes he seems to have his head on really straight and like be hyper aware. And sometimes he doesn't. If I'm him, I'm right now starting essentially a TeePublic for all of this for college kids. Because when I was in college, I didn't know how to make custom shirts. If I'm Johnny Football, I'm creating a place where people can order one of a shirt because there's no reason for there's Denario Alexander to order 70 of a shirt, but he might sell 12. And there's so many ways to, what do they call it? Like single printing.
Yeah. It's like made to order type.
I'm starting a made to order site that up front, I guarantee you he can find money. Up front gets the college licensing. And then he just lets kids come through him. They call. I think the kid will want to call Johnny Manziel. Oh, Johnny Manziel, I'm looking for this. I'm starting that company.
That's smart. Yeah.
Johnny's Football. He can call it whatever he wants. It would get attention because it's his. Someone needs to. It'll probably be someone who seems to have more business acumen, but he is exactly the right person, age, level, everything to do exactly that.
Yeah.
And if you have the rights to all these college things, it basically would just look like Rally House or look like TeePublic. But players can just say, this is all they need is a JPEG. And then you can throw it on mug, hat, blah, 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 all that.
Look, if you would have invented College Teespring, then you would have invented College Teespring. All right. Lastly, before we get to Frank Fact, my ugly of the week. Netflix.
A streaming site. I just looked it up.
Yes. Thank you. So Netflix, and I know what you're thinking. You're like you're probably like this. Basically, my question to you, Kyle, is I feel like it's time. I feel like it's time we have a conversation with Netflix. I feel like it's time we sit Netflix down and we have a talking to, because Netflix has they've gotten above their ski.
Okay.
Above their skis, in front of their skis, too far in front of
their
their
one
skis.
board with an American flag.
They yes, no, not quite there yet. Netflix they're getting a little too loose with it. Okay. So I saw a trailer the other day for a new dating show. And obviously they've got all of their reality shows, The Circle, where it's like you try and catfish other people in a house and try and become the most popular on social media. That's a great message behind that reality show. There's Too Hot to Handle, where people go on an island and aren't allowed to have sex, or else all the money gets taken away from the pod or something. But everyone's so hot that they just can't help themselves. Then there's Love is Blind, where you literally you can't see the person until you get engaged.
Yeah.
Yeah. You have to get engaged before you can see them. And so really it's just learning to get to know them by their personality, and which is again great.
Great.
But I saw this the other day, Kyle. This new show called Sexy Beasts. And let me just play this thing.
I want to get married. I want to have babies before I'm like 26. Do you have health insurance?
Welcome to the strangest blind date ever.
Hey, how you doing?
How are you?
How you doing?
Could you fall in love with someone based on personality alone?
What is your ideal woman?
Personality for me is everything. Ass first, personality second. You're the best looking devil I've ever seen.
This is really weird right now.
Hold on, Kyle. First of all, have you seen this? Have you seen this trailer?
I don't have to. See more of it.
It is. You obviously just heard it, but it's basically a reality show from Netflix of people wearing. How would you describe this? I'll say
high quality furry costumes.
High quality furry costumes. Some of the best makeup I've ever seen ever. It's incredible makeup.
Yeah, they have personality.
What's the
PURR sonality?
Oh, what was the old Howard the Duck?
Yes.
Do you remember Howard the Duck, the movie? It's as if everyone had Howard the Duck makeup on, but different animals, different characters.
It's hair. It's insanely well done.
It's incredibly well done. And so basically what these people do is they wear these costumes to where all you can see are like their eyes, really. And
I don't trust that scarecrow.
I don't either. I'm voting that guy off. And then this panda also gives me the willies. But like you don't know what they look like because they're caked in makeup, and they go on dates, and it's essentially Love is Blind, but just with ridiculous costumes, and they go on dates and they get to know each other. There's a baboon kissing a devil. So it's one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. And Netflix was like, someone pitched this idea to Netflix, and someone at Netflix was like, I like it.
I'm not sure if someone pitched it or someone just said the words "sexy beasts" and then they wrote backwards, because that kind of feels like with Love is Blind, "sexy beasts."
That's how. If I was running Netflix, that's how it would have been done.
Right. I miss when you didn't know what happened in a show based on the title, like "Naked and Afraid." And this one they're more subtle, like "Alf."
I'm just like, I don't get it. I don't know. Like I feel like Netflix is, they're getting a little too confident.
They're like, yeah, we don't have The Office anymore, but you don't even remember who pays for this.
So I don't know. Like part of me, I don't want to watch this at all. But then also, I also know myself to where I'm like, what if I do watch this? Like,
I think people have. This is like if you took mushrooms and watched BoJack Horseman, is a little bit what this feels like.
Yes, that is a great explanation of it. If you if you were just high off your ass watching BoJack Horseman.
Or my Scandinavian reboot, BoJack Norseman.
Ooh, I like that.
The panda one looks lazier than the rest.
Yeah, because that one's just
the body. You can see the body. There's so much hair, it doesn't like go flush in. I'm not sure.
That one looks like the mask that Pablo Sandoval puts on after every Braves home run.
It does. I can't. Mask is so gross. I bet.
It's so gross. It's so gross. It's probably got Cheeto dust all on the inside. And they're like, Pablo, come on, man. All right. That's yeah. So I don't know if I'm gonna watch that show or not. I have no idea. I'd like to say no confidently.
I think you should leave. Season 2 came out today. That's what we should be watching.
Did it really? The
Yeah.
new season?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, hell yeah. Well, now I know what I'm doing tonight. All right. Hey, before we get out of here, Frank Fact. Frank Fact, it's where Frank it gives us a fact. It's literally, so it's not just a clever name. The Frank Fact this week, the cast of Friends. The cast of Friends, ever heard of them? They still make $20 million each year off of reruns. Each person, $20 million each person gets.
That's more than like I make in a year.
That's yeah. I have to crunch some numbers. Yeah, I think I'm right there with you. 20 million per year per person off reruns.
Yeah.
And then so think about how much money they got paid to do that that HBO Max thing where all
we have to do anything, and they're like almost pretty much no.
Yeah, you just have to go back, walk around the old set. We're gonna film you, and we'll edit it. We'll do everything.
Why didn't they give Ross an Iron Man suit?
He's got extra, and Ross is like, Tony, don't you think you can give me an Iron Man suit? You have extras sitting around. And they're like, that is a Marvel movie. All right. This is the Warner Brothers lot.
Russ, I thought you said they were broken. I said they were on a break.
There it is. There it is. All right. That's gonna do it for us this week. Hey, guys, check out Kyle.
Here I am, baby.
Check him out. I'm just gonna sit back and you guys just check him out. All right, now go check out his podcast. Never seen it. It's on wherever podcasts are found. Literally worth your time. And if we had that much fun riffing on FernGully, imagine how much fun the new FernGully episode of Never Seen It podcast is. He's also got a bunch of other like segments and things within the podcast. They talk to his dad. They get his dad involved. They play games about the movies and everything. It's literally a fun listen, especially if you love movies, and I do. And so I have fun listening to it. So that right there should be reason enough for you to get the podcast. Kyle, do you have anything for the road?
Yeah, Viggo Mortensen, and who else was in it? Okay, that's the road riff. Everybody have a good day. Do you have anything for the road? Yes, some food and electricity.
At Kyle Ayers on all the socials, on Instagram, Twitter, at FernGully on Instagram as well. You can give him a follow there.
One last, I have an hour about this Instagram account for my next album.
I can't wait. I legitimately can't wait. I would go and see you do stand up just to have the entire set be about FernGully social media. Yeah. All right. As we learned last week, don't forget to water your plants. And what's the word that I used to get out of here? What is it? Was it ahoy? Oh,
Chips.
Yeah. Yep. Ahoy.